Are electricians essential workers? You all probably know about the kite experiment, which was a scientific experiment in which a kite with a pointed conductive wire attached to its apex was flown near thunderclouds to collect electricity from the air and conduct it down the wet kite string to the ground. It was proposed and may have been conducted by Benjamin Franklin. The experiment's purpose was to uncover the unknown facts about the nature of lightning and electricity. Since then, electricity has become an integral part of our lives, and electricians play an essential part in keeping electricity working for us. So, are electricians essential workers? But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on, so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. The history of electricity. In the history of electricity, no single defining moments exist. The way we produce, distribute, install, and use electricity and the devices it powers is the culmination of nearly 300 years of research and development. Efforts to understand, capture, and tame electricity began in the 18th century. For the next 150 years, dozens of natural scientists in England, Europe, colonial America, and later the United States analyzed electricity in nature, but producing it outside of nature was another matter. That didn't happen on any large scale until the late 19th century, setting the stage for widespread commercial use of electricity, where international researchers engaged in pure scientific research, and entrepreneurial businessmen who made their own major discoveries or produced, marketed, and sold products based on others' ideas. The emergence of the electrical profession. Edison, Westinghouse, and other investors and builders of electrical equipment competed to show the wonders of their new inventions. In 1881, Lucien Gillard of France and John Gibbs of England arranged the first successful alternating current electrical demonstration in London. Expositions and World's Fair became popular places to showcase new inventions involving electricity. Almost as soon as they moved from the drawing board to operational status, electrical devices and systems were on display, to the delight of admiring crowds throughout the United States, England, and Europe. Electricians were hired to build and operate these installations. The first successful use of electricity at one of these events occurred at the 1889 Paris Exposition. 4 years later, the 1893 Columbian Exposition in Chicago used 10 times more electricity than the Paris Exposition. The Chicago Fair employed 90,000 Sawyerman incandescent lamps using alternating current, installed by Westinghouse for $5.25 each, and 5,000 arc lights installed by General Electric. To understand what these figures meant, consider that in 1890, there were only 68,000 arc lights and 900,000 incandescent lamps in the entire United States. Columbian Exposition visitors could ride on or see electrified sites that included 3 cranes, elevators in some buildings, water fountains, an on-site railroad streetcar system built by General Electric, and moving sidewalks. Organizers of the electricity-themed 1901 Pan American Exposition in Buffalo, New York, were challenged to improve on the Columbian Exposition. 2 of the Pan American Exposition's buildings were dedicated to electricity: the 400-foot electric tower, studded with 40,000 lights, and the electric building with a display of electrical appliances. Meanwhile, electricity had made an appearance at the annual expositions held from 1857 to the late 1890s in St. Louis, Missouri, then the 4th largest city in the United States. The St. Louis Agriculture and Mechanical Fair took place each summer at Fairgrounds Park on the city's north side, and each winter in the Exposition and Music Hall in downtown St. Louis. Organizing the profession. Electricians meeting in conjunction with these expositions in St. Louis and Buffalo found enough in common to form the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, or IBEW, and the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA. In the fall of 1890, experienced linemen and wiremen working on the St. Louis Agricultural and Mechanical Fair met to share common professional experiences. A year later, on November 21st, 1891, 10 electricians representing about 300 workmen in 8 cities met and formed the IBEW. The group included 3 from St. Louis and 1 each from Chicago, Indianapolis and Evansville, Indiana, Duluth, Minnesota, Toledo, Ohio, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. At about the same time, electrical contracting firms in Buffalo, New York City, Rochester, Syracuse, and Utica formed the United Electrical Contractors Association of New York State. This association invited electrical contracting firms from all over the United States to a meeting on July 17, 1901, at the New York State Building at the Pan American Exposition in Buffalo. 49 men came from 18 cities in 8 states, including 9 9 from St. Louis, 2 each from Detroit and Philadelphia, and 1 each from Baltimore, Boston, Cleveland, Minneapolis, and Pittsburgh. From this meeting, displaying the latest advances in electrical use, NECA emerged. Are electricians essential workers? Electricians are essential workers. Without electricity, the world would grind to a halt, and electricians are the only ones who can keep the electrical infrastructure running. What is an essential worker? The definition of an essential worker is an employee that performs work involving the safety of human life on the protection of property. It comes from the Essential Services Act of 2013. This legislation is designed to help government agencies decide which workers cannot be laid off when reducing their spending. Fast forward to 2020, a global health crisis grips the country, and federal and state governments must decide which workers should stay home to contain the spread of the COVID-19 virus. The world depends on electricity daily. It's essential. When there's a problem with electrical connections in a home's network of lighting, who fixes it? Typically, electricians do. When a building's communications systems fail, who repairs it? Electricians usually do. Wherever the power goes out, it is usually electricians who come to the rescue. That's why electricians made both federal and state governments lists of essential workers. Electricians on federal and state essential worker lists. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency's CISA list of essential workers includes electricians. CISA, a branch of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, published the Advisory Memorandum on Identification of Essential Critical Infrastructure Workers during the COVID-19 response. The agency deemed electricians essential to the continued operation of commercial facilities and public works and infrastructure support services. Electricians are necessary for providing services that ensure the continued security, safety, and essential activities of occupants of commercial buildings. Electricians, along with other skilled trade workers, are needed to maintain the sanitation, safety, and essential operation of businesses, residences, and buildings, including senior living facilities and hospitals. Many states also consider electricians essential during the COVID-19 pandemic, including them on their state-issued essential workers list. This was the case in Alabama, Arizona, Washington, D.C., Georgia, Hawaii, Maine, Minnesota, Mississippi, South Carolina, and California. For example, California listed electricians as essential to supporting the security, safety, and critical operations in commercial and residential buildings, as well as construction sites. These included hospitals and senior living facilities, as well as construction projects ensuring the availability of energy, transportation, communications, and more. Further supporting facts. Many electricians are playing a critical role in helping to ensure the nation has power during the COVID-19 crisis, for safety, for security, for critical operations. But what happens after the pandemic? Will the lights simply flicker out? Will cell phones and computers die? Will hospitals, nursing homes, and government buildings shut down? It's highly unlikely. The country will probably count on electricians for many years to come, both for traditional wiring jobs and for projects in the growing green economy. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics predicted faster than average job growth for electricians back in 2018. Jobs for these professions should be added at a rate of 10% until 2028. Electricians also support these essential services. The healthcare industry, both public and private, provides essential services that cannot shut down in any circumstance. These essential employees are too valuable in the case of an emergency. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, healthcare employees performed vital services such as research and testing, patient care, administration of medication to patients, and much more. The healthcare system will not be able to operate without electricity to run medical equipment like respirators, and there will be no lights for surgical procedures as an example. First responders, also referred to as emergency management employees. The services they provide are equally as important as healthcare services. During COVID-19, emergency management employees ensure ordinary individuals have access to emergency assistance by law enforcement, the fire department, paramedics, and more. In all U.S. states, first responders are required to work during a state of emergency. They rely on electricians to keep their electrical systems operational. Food and agriculture. During a state of emergency, it's important for individuals, emergency services, and households to have access to food. This means that businesses like grocery stores and restaurants are required to continue operations. Electricians are needed for temperature control systems, lighting, and other electrical systems to keep this system running. Water and sanitation. This category includes all employees needed to manage and maintain drinking water and drainage infrastructure. Here, we think about water pumps and water purification systems, including the electricity needed to treat wastewater. Transportation and logistics. All employees supporting transportation functions, such as dispatchers and maintenance and repair technicians, are considered as essential. These systems work with computers, and a lot of systems are based on electrical vehicles, which needs to be charged with electrical outlets. Manufacturing. Manufacturing affects multiple industries and essential categories, including transportation and healthcare. Manufacturing refers to all employees responsible for producing materials and products required for medical supply chains and transportation, such as water and sanitation, energy, communications, food and agriculture, etc. A factory that produces respirators or other essential equipment or products such as feminine hygiene products cannot operate without electricity. If they go offline, we have many more deaths, including a hygiene crisis. Communications and information technology. While many states go on lockdown during the COVID-19 pandemic, it's the communication and information technology industry that is responsible for ensuring the public is kept informed about the latest developments. Here is probably the single most important reason why electricians are essential. Our world runs on computers. Take them out of the equation and things start falling apart, including the banking system. Electricians are definitely essential workers. It can be argued they are the most essential workers, since without them, it would be just as good as having an electromagnetic pulse device detonate. It would mean no electricity supply. And we have not even touched on the need for electricity in other sectors like finance and the defense industry. If you're already an electrician running your own business or just about to start and grow your own electrical business, you must learn the 4 critical things electrical business owners wish they had learned before starting an electrical business, so you don't make the same mistakes. Electrician Accelerator have put together a free training video you can watch for free right now that will show you exactly how to start, grow, and build your electrical business the right way so you can consistently guarantee profitable work, free up your time, all whilst reducing stress levels and allowing you to have sustainable and more profitable business that works for you. In this free training video, you will also learn how to generate a steady stream of jobs on demand with predictability month after month in your local area without relying on word of mouth and referrals, how to stop competing on price with other electricians and escape your competition, how to convert at least 90% of your quotes and estimates into sales, how to command premium prices and attract high-quality customers that will be happy to pay more. Click on the link on the description below with the video. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. Check back for more. Until then, take care.